Okay. Hopefully... Okay, I see the Epic Games launcher. Guys, give me a second. Is like the Epic Games Store using a fingerprint of my PC? And I mean, I didn't have this issue when I upgraded the CPU, but the GPU, well, yeah, it's like, ugh. Hey, please, log in again. Okay. Okay, whatever you say. Well, the shitty part is that I thought that the Epic Game Launcher would be open, you know. Um. Okay, it was complaining that Fortnite was updated. I don't know why, because I literally dismissed that one before. Anyway. Let me do that. Hey, thanks for checking out the stream, Tadaki. They pick up Doodle Kingdom Medieval and mobile. Yeah, by the way, they're doing free giveaways on the mobile app. They already did some. Anyway, shader stutter is gonna happen because they had to update the GPU drivers. Interestingly enough. Yeah. But there's 3 games that they give out. They give like Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, the mobile versions, among other things, for free. If you're into that. I wish I had a capture card to do mobile Fortnite streams, because mobile Fortnite is quite fun, like the touchscreen gameplay. Kinda hope Epic, like, loosens up and adds touchscreen support for playing the game on Switch too. Like, I can't wait to see if it's gonna have like 120 hertz mode. I hope so. I wonder if it's like a Carbon Engine release of Forever City Girls, which would mean that it's yet another game that a modern vintage gamer worked on. It's like the Quake, the Quake 1 release, the modern one is quite good. Like, I mean, okay, it's not perfect by my standards. Oh yeah, new updates. I guess Fortnite update. Oh, I need to buy V-Bucks, and I need to pre-order this Switch 2 tomorrow. Nintendo told me, hey, like, based on your account activity, we're gonna let you have advance access to the pre-orders on 8th. So I'll have to like hit up the Nintendo store tomorrow and place one. It's like an anti-scalping thing I think they're doing. Thing is, like, 2 years of an active NSO subscription, at least 50 hours played and stuff. Wouldn't be surprised to take more heuristics. Oh, the amount of games you own or whatever. Online gameplay and so on. Ads. I love ads. Hey, Elite. Just a heads up. I'll probably be all over the place. Let's run a performance mode match, then let's maybe crank the game to ultra. What are my dailies so I can do them fast? Weapons. Okay, those seem easy enough. Also, new festival season tomorrow, guys. Didn't check what Epic was posting, if they hinted who's it gonna be next time. I'm assuming it's not gonna be Dragon Force. That would be fucking bizarre. So it's gonna be probably some English language artist. Yeah, shader starter. Oh my. I love how rough it is. Like on mobile, it's a little bit better. Even though like when it stutters, the stutters are more severe. It's just, I think there's less shaders. I mean, PSOs technically speaking. Potato, potato. Anyway, oh no, not Magic Moses. I don't wanna drop Magic Moses. Kappa Kappa Pickle Factory Company thing. These camera spins are just to catch as many PSOs as possible, because I hate the shader stutter. Oh my, this runs like ass right now, but... Welcome to modern gaming, everyone! Welcome to the PS5, we got fun! I mean, we don't have games, you know. Like the idea that basically, oh, what games do I want to try on this thing? I want to buy Cyberpunk. I want to get Inzoi from like the newer games. I mean, okay, Cyberpunk is like 5 years old by now. Game is fucking old now. What about games like Control? Just to get up faster, let me pickaxe this. That's a bot. Just of the sounds alone. That's some shader stutter of all time. But if you follow me on Fedi, you would have seen what I've been up to before stream. I started streaming later today because I had to like set up a new GPU, so like stress test it, make sure it's plugged in properly. Which actually, the features that the particular one I bought actually helped me out here. The connector wasn't seated properly on the PSU side. Can I just complete all the quests? No. I still need to wait a little bit longer before... before I finish the Outlast Players one. But there is still some stuttering. I'm surprised. Let me just break some stuff intentionally. That's a stutter. Stutter, stutter. Look at the FPS. Absolutely abysmal drops, bro. Can I get an S? Yeah, I got a good one. Let's go, let's go. I cap 360 is the highest cap you can go for. I play with a 240 Hz monitor. I use the 360 cap, so it's above the actual refresh rate, so it's a little bit smoother for me. If I could have capped it to like, I don't know, 280 or something, I would have, just to be closer to it. Because the Unreal Engine, I mean, first and foremost, like, if you are trying to aim for the lowest latency possible with a fixed refresh rate, because I'm not using G-Sync here, even though I could, it's just that ULMB gives you better motion clarity, right? The engine caps tend to have worse frame pacing, especially if it's the Unreal engine, like FPS cap thing. But they have lower latency than using external tools, and I don't know which ones would even work with a game that uses anti-cheat, like, you know, Fortnite, which uses 2 anti-cheats. Yep. I still haven't lost it. 2 more players need to die. Okay. That's a shader. I just know that that's a shader. I've gone for shader stutter enough times. I haven't broken a rock because I think these give you unique shaders. I mean, there's some PSOs I would catch in But yeah, Epic only gives you preset FPS caps, unfortunately. Nice animation. Right in between the legs, bro. Those are bots, by the way. Yeah, the sniper rifle is ass. More news at 11. My hatred for the sniper rifle knows no bounds. Ooh. Where at, bitch? Okay, get shit on, bro. You had all the time in the world to actually push me, and you decided to not do so. Again, I'm gonna see how this game runs on, like, ultra settings, because Fortnite looks really good. I mean, I wouldn't play Fortnite on settings above, like, basically potato settings. But, it looks really nice with, like, all the RTGI and stuff that they do. The problem is that shader stutter's even worse. Like, I've seen back in the 7800 X3D 1490 days, I've seen drops like single-digit frame rates when I was, like, you know, having to build up a bunch of PSOs. Like, I would see like 9 FPS on the readout, not kidding. So Nvidia supposedly has some way to, like, do frame generation on games that don't support it otherwise. I mean, I still have Half-Life 2 RTX demo installed. Just so I can dick around with it, because this, like, that is basically the game that made me really feel like, yeah, it's time to upgrade. That game would, like, drop to like 40 FPS on a 1490 at 1080p. Even with frame generation, that's rough. Also, I don't know if RTX Remix uses the neural shader stuff that they can do on Blackwell. I don't know if they pushed it out already or not. And also, supposedly, the driver issues are really rampant, but because of the characteristics of my particular setup, I haven't seen them so far, so I'm assuming I'm just lucky. That basically I have a dedicated gaming rig with a single monitor plugged into it and stuff. I just never experienced the issues that others are facing. It's kind of funny listening to Steve trash Nvidia as I am installing a 5090. How well would it... I mean... I don't know, maybe I'll look into getting the Indiana Jones game now that I actually have, like, an overclocked 5090 in my rig. Because this one in particular, 600 watt, this one in particular has a 600 watt power cap that's running at. I mean, it's not hitting that in Fortnite. Anyway, let's actually just let's just do the funny bit where I crank Fortnite to highest settings and see how it looks like, guys. I mean, yeah, RTX Remix is probably like the best way to just like really push this kind of hardware. Cause like for example, SultMT, I don't know if he's like done anything about his denoiser, cause his denoiser was trash. And it's like he had like really limited DLSS implementations in his stuff back in the day when I was like playing for Quake and stuff. Yeah, I once played through like fully path traced Quake off stream and stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go into settings, crank them up, and then I'm gonna have to set them down to low before I switch back the renderers because some settings persist, which is silly. Assuming it's gonna be a little bit slower because it still has to like probably build the PSOs before it shows me the lobby. Settings. Lumen Epic. Lumen Epic. Just everything on Epic. I know why Reflex was off. That's interesting. Also, this game is still Reflex 1. I wish Fortnite had Reflex 2. Like, I wanna try Reflex 2 so bad. I bought a 5090 before they pushed it to all their GPUs, but I think I'd have to like get the finals to play it. I mean, at least 3 to play. Here you go, ray traced Fortnite skins. You know, like you can see like all the shaders and stuff. This one you have fancy shadows, but it looks very simplistic. Also, I'm using TSR because DLSS. I think can you even do DLSS right now in Fortnite? If I toggle it to... Nope. You cannot do DLAA. And I'm assuming that if I tried to force it via drivers, it would either not work or straight up. Yeah, let's just look at some skins so it gets to like compile older shaders. I think it shouldn't be downloading the textures. This is like some weird streaming thing they do. I have like the option toggled on. Actually, let's do Renegade Raider. Let's do my Renegade Raider. Come on, it's like one of the best looking skins in Fortnite. Okay, let's just hit it. Just keep in mind that Unreal Engine 5 does a bunch of tricks to like do as little ray tracing as possible. Like there's still a shit ton of SSR and they don't try to make sure that it falls back to ray tracing whenever like there's no ray hit. From like the, you know, ray marching. So if you look closely you're gonna see a bunch of defects, but when Lumen GI, like the hardware Lumen GI works, it looks stunning. Also, I'm not using anything like G-Sync, so the input lag is not going to be optimal in this case. But I have the Reflex 1 enabled, so the input lag should be tolerable because, like, Reflex, when you do something like this where you push the GPU, like you absolutely hammer at it, works just fine. Yeah, we're gonna be waiting for the shaders, and then it's still gonna be compiling shaders in game. So I'm gonna be spinning camera and breaking stuff again and spamming emotes. Hopefully I get to see the spawn island, even though I have a fairly fast CPU in here. Oh yeah, I have to actually update my signatures on like GBA temp and the ones in my description. Haven't done that yet. Oh, the initial shader precompile. Oh, like the camera spin doesn't cause insane stutters anymore. They actually improved that. Yeah. Now, they're doing screen space shadows. I was just looking for evidence of them still doing screen space shadows like they did back in chapter 3. 180 FPS ish. Let's see what happens on the ground. Again, it's still gonna be doing all the data fetching, and I think there's still gonna be pop-in because even though this is Nanite, I think I have Nanite on, right? Yes, Nanite, I have it enabled, but even with Nanite on, there's still pop-in because of the LOD system that Fortnite has. That exists on top of it. Yeah, the game got a little bit heavier over the years. I was getting about 144 FPS back in Chapter 4, if you can believe it, in fucking Chapter 4 Season 2. Yeah, like you can see reflections and stuff. I remember doing this on GeForce Now back in the day and was like, okay, that was the moment I knew I wanted the fastest GPU on the market. Oh, aiming is kinda hard when the frame rate is this low. Like 120 FPS looks so choppy to me. Yeah, Yeah, bask in the glory of the ray traced GI and shit. You know? I typically only do this when there's like a Fortnite event. Yeah, the way they're sampling rays at a reduced resolution here, like, look what's happening with this chain link fence. Also, it's still a flat texture, even with nanite. Actually, the geometry is surprisingly low poly here. This is actual geometry, though. So I guess not everything is of equal quality. The shadows are moving nicely, that is actually quite nice. Let's see, do I... No, I think they do async shader compilation now, because typically I get a massive stutter when I break a tree like that. Yeah, the performance mode just doesn't get the new shader compilation stuff that they've been doing. So I must say, Epic has been doing something about the PSO stutter, it's just that it doesn't affect the performance mode renderer, my beloved. Also, high settings bushes look weird. I have to go drop into OGE if I want to see how the OG bushes look like. Yeah, there's like virtually no stutter there, but the FPS is considerably lower. Or maybe it's just the TSR really pushing it. Yeah, this is like frame generation territory. This will be like 3x frame generation for me to hit the kind of performance I want out of this sort of game. Yeah, you have like the stochastic shadows here, which is nice. I love me some stochastic shadows. Wait, there's some ammo here. I didn't even get a weak spot on this thing. What? At least it's still 4 shockwaves. Oh, there's a chromatic aberration effect when you use the drill. Didn't know that. The render distance on grass is super low. Actually, let's look at some water. The trees are quite blobby. And they don't sway at all. Also, like, look, when I move my... Look up and down. Like, look how the tree detail kind of fades in from SSR and how the SSR result looks a little bit different. Yeah, there's no grass on this hill already. Grass stops like right here. It's crazy close to the camera. And it's not like you can just tweak the settings easily in Fortnite. I think like the most in-depth shit you can get away with in Fortnite is the NVIDIA Profile Inspector. If you like wanna tweak the settings a little bit. Or like messing with like the compatibility bits in the NVIDIA database and stuff. Give me the chuggy. That's traversal stutter, I guess. Ooh, 13 FPS. Ooh, my, yeah. I guess maybe async shader compilation still has its limits, but there's way less stutter than in performance mode when you bust the shader cache. Yeah, the ray trace reflections kind of look like ass, not gonna lie. Someone close by. Yeah, there's still like traversal stutter and it's quite heavy. I'm assuming that when you use a mobility item like this and look at a bunch of new things. Yeah, there's SSR here. You can see SSR artifacts on this like super rough reflection. Unfortunately, I have a keen eye for this stuff. Yeah, there's like basic HDR. These gold bars seem to be beyond the roughness cutoff for their fancy reflection stuff. Yeah, I almost died there. If he... Bro, I'm playing at like 100 FPS. Chill the fuck out. But these shadows are so fine detailed, bro. Like, yes, they're rough, but they're supposed to look rough because they're far away. Or like, these rocks cast individual shadows, that's like the nanite shit. Oh, there's like basic liquid physics on the Chug Jug. But the shadows look like Garbo on it though. I'm gonna keep it a buck 50. When something looks like ass, even on ultra settings, it looks like ass. And yeah, I rarely play BR on like max out settings. I think the last time I played BR like this, I tried it in OG. Like after one of the biggest Unreal 5 updates. Because they did nanite terrain. Yeah, can't aim for shit at this slow of a frame rate, bro. The input lag is okay. It's not as great as it is on my performance mode settings where I have higher internal frame rate. It's acceptable, but I wouldn't actually want to play a game like this. The bushes look so weird, bro. Yeah, that's global illumination for you. Look how my drill reflects. Yeah, it's using SSR and then falling back. So like the back of the guitar, because it's trying to reflect the back of the guitar, it doesn't have any color. I don't know if the BVH reflects the player models at all, or if it's just like the static geometry stuff. I forgot that this isn't an OG vending machine, so I cannot pickaxe it to look at the next item. Yeah, like, all of this lighting is real time. Because Fortnite has destructible environments and variable time of day and stuff. Right, the shadows actually look fucking amazing. Unfortunately, there's like no dark POIs like castles in Chapter 4, which would absolutely break the global illumination. You would have boiling city, bro. Like, it was crazy back then. Oh, it's so hard to aim. I feel like I'm playing on a fucking Steam Deck out here. Like, I wouldn't call this playable. Maybe if you're like a controller person, this would be acceptable to you. Maybe if you're like used to about 120 FPS and VRR, maybe you could call this tolerable, but the internal frame rate is considerably lower than it used to be back in the day, even on a 4090, even on a slower CPU. Maybe it's TSR, because TSR is super expensive, and I'm using TSR here to like really push the image quality. Also, there's like haloing around my character. I'm assuming it's the GI stuff, using sub-native resolution, and then the resolve just not knowing what to do around the edges of my character. Yeah, it's nighttime. I mean, it's 5 o'clock. It's basically nighttime. Ooh, shader stutter. Ooh, stutter. Me no like them stutters. I can literally see where it falls back to ray tracing from SSR when I look over the water with this thing. Back in the day, you would get visual audio reflecting off of water in like Unreal 4 engine days in Fortnite. It was crazy if you max out the game. Back then, I think I was playing on a 2080 on GeForce Now. Yeah, there was a time when I played Fortnite on GeForce Now. My initial experience of playing on Control was with that sort of setup. Yeah, the zone's gonna push in a little bit more. And guess what? I don't have any fucking mobility, and this guy's gonna try to beat me while I have no fucking sprint. Yeah, the bushes are a fucking travesty. Like, I get it, they look way more dense, but bro, like, I can't see shit. I can barely see my character. Ooh. Ooh, there's actually, like, water ripples and stuff. That's cool. Oh, let's look at OG, maybe? I don't know. I can't... I really can't wait to go back to performance mode. Yeah, let's go OG builds. Let's go OG, but with builds. Wait. Oh yeah, because it's the B-side. B-side is coming up in like 2 weeks. Okay. I'm probably gonna launch Returnal. I'm gonna have to recompile the shaders there, but it doesn't take that much on my CPU. And we're gonna try to max out frame gen. Then I'm gonna see all those frames, because with frame gen I was staying above 240 on a 4090 at my settings, which is ultra, no motion blur, DLAA transform MO, which is slightly heavier than normal DLSS stuff. Like, I can't run an ad Twitch. This is like prime time for running an ad as I'm waiting for matchmaking and all the shaders to compile. No, I cannot run ads. What? I should be... I should be able to run ads though. Yeah, another shader compilation because there's gonna be new shaders here. They seem to be doing async shader compilation, but you can overload it basically on PC. Also, texture streamed in super fast. I wonder if that's like yeah, the mesh density is kind of low. Chain link fences are still a texture. I mean, they're shadow maps. Look, I can cast multiple shadows as well. Let's drop tomato. I don't know, I like dropping tomato. These large trees are just blobs from up above. Oh, now I can run an ad when I'm about to hit the jump button and drop. Nice. But yeah, the frame rate isn't dipping as hard when I'm looking at people dropping, which is typically how you get a bunch of PSOs from new skins. Let's look at the frame rate stability as I'm dropping, and like, yeah, 77. Dip. Ooh, 16. Yeah, that's the traversal stutter. I'm assuming it's like, okay, yeah, there's like, here's like, I don't know, 15 new PSOs you have to compile. Yeah, 23 FPS, bro. But like, with less stuff happening in the game. Also, there's like... This is pretty dark on these settings. I can see a bit of yeah, my character has like a halo around it. There's basic contact shadows, but they like look like, if I look like this, yeah, they happen if I don't look away. Also, yo, boiling thing happens. I wanted to see how Lumen handles dark rooms, because that's been like its worst case scenario. Also, you can like see the darkness like vanish away when you delete an item from existence. That's it, just attempting to accumulate all the samples. You basically see how the denoiser is. Bro, it's so hard to aim. Yeah, like if I jump, see how my character's like really weird looking and blobby, how like there's gaps in between my legs as I look around. Yeah, your own character doesn't cast any ray trace reflections, it seems. So that's one of the ways they keep CPU performance up, which, I mean, yeah, like even this CPU is gonna be... Okay, I need 100 metal and 100 wood. Let's get some trees down. Just the vending machine has a green pump. How come I get so little wood from breaking those trees? Come on. Yep, still not 100. This shadow vanishes quickly because I think virtual shadow mapping is not actually ray traced, so there's that. Again, there's like a bunch of stuff that modern games will not ray trace just to keep the performance up. And yes, even though it's Season 3, double pumps are still in this OG mode, which is nice. Above or below? Probably inside of the bridge. Yeah, I see you. I don't know what you were trying to do, but... if you were trying to cook, that shit's inedible, bruh. Yeah, look at this boiling. Look at this boiling. See all of this, like, all of these, like, weird colored fireflies and stuff? Or, like, how stuff flashes and then settles in? That's the denoiser. Just not knowing what to do. I don't think it's really the fault of the denoiser in this case. I mean, they're not using ray reconstruction here. Which, fair enough, they aren't really using DLSS in Fortnite nowadays. But, the sample count is really low. To keep the ray tracing parts, or like here, look. And as I cover this thing, I think they are doing some screen space, like, RTGI or some shit like that. And the tone mapper is doing funky stuff. Yeah, that's geometry, as you can see right there. Also, virtual shadow maps are not quite pixel to pixel, so they don't quite look as good as ray trace shadows in Fortnite. Oh, bro. Yeah, can't wait to run this game at like fucking Star Fox level performance. That would be nasty. I didn't post on Hey, Tataki actually checked out my stream. That's nice. Some playing builds. I mean, the shadows cast on your character by the sun look real nice, though. I just wish we had GPUs fast enough to actually do ray trace shadows in a game like this. Look how there's like a pocket of darkness here, and how the shadows are greenish, like how everything looks greenish. My character, not really, because I'm not close enough to the leaves. So like you can see screen-spaced weirdness when this happens. The tree straight up looks shiny. Angle myself. Yeah, now I got a little bit more greenish because it's not like really blocking and consuming all the light. Let's break this tree. Yeah, this one is actually most directly lit by the sun. Which you can't see, so you won't see all the god rays. We break it down to 50. Yeah, GI wasn't crapping itself here because the effect was quite subtle. I mean, if I flick the camera up and down, there's not really much of an issue here, but I can see like a little bit of crawling across the surfaces. Some GI stuff, but like, look, you can see the light bounce off of here. Here. If I place brick, it's gonna become a little bit more red. Let's let the brick build up fully. Yeah, it's more red here and more uniformly red. If I build metal takes even longer to build. Let's just farm some mats in the meantime. It's becoming more dull and gray, right? Metal takes forever to build though. Sam, I kind of want to give you mods so you can take care of all the view botting crap on my chat. But yes, Emma, I got a 5090. Yeah, I can't aim like shit, bro. Like, I'm only getting 160 FPS right now. This is maxed out Fortnite. The shadows are unstable here. This is TSR Epic. This is like temporal smear abuse with as much of a leniency as possible, and I can still see where there are attempts to just use noise and stuff and have it resolved to the thing they wanted to. Bro, I can't even report someone. I have any... Bro. But if you haven't seen how Fortnite looks like on ultra settings, this is it. I was showing off some GI before Zema. Give me a second, guys. Oh, account suspended or deactivated by the time reported, so I guess Twitch caught the viewbot ad. Maybe they're actually doing something. Something happened. You see funny swirly patterns on the grass. Or maybe it's this stuff. I know, very exciting gameplay. Watch me pop heals, guys. Watch me pop heals live on twitch.tv/TofuMummyGamer. Whatever. How rich am I? This is the first time in a while when I'm like net negative month by month in terms of like my bank account. No, but seriously, I hope at some point streaming actually isn't like a money sink hobby of mine. You know? I am basically doing charity out here. No, fun fact, I literally have a spare 4090 laying around now because I upgraded from that. At least the 5090 Astral OC I bought, because this is an Astral OC, so it's technically slightly overclocked 5090. It's 600 watt power cap. Yeah. He's maining a sniper rifle. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, send them a screenshot. Let me lower down the settings, restart the game in performance mode. Let me do the whole settings dance. And then we're gonna, don't know, try Half-Life 2 RTX, I guess. Can't tell if this is normal or not, and I mean they're pushing out an update, so there's a chance that they're gonna do whatever. At least Windows isn't like, hey, please reactivate Windows. They did that when I swapped in a new CPU, but GPU is fine on their end, it seems. But funnily enough, CPU swap didn't cause me to be forced to log into my Epic again, but swapping my GPU did. I guess Epic cares a lot more about your GPU for like the sake of hardware AD stuff. Not like hardware AD spoofers are a thing for people who actually cheat in this game. Apply. Apply. Restart now. Let the game start up. We're gonna close it down. Let me launch Steam as we wait. Verdansk is back. Nice. Nobody gives a shit, bro. I read define success as decline success, bro. Is the game actually starting up? I would like to actually play Fortnite. You know? Like, actually play the game. Sorry, I was clipping there. I just want to dial in my settings and call it a day, because I don't normally play on those settings. The game is, by my standards, unplayable. Like, you try playing with frame rate this unstable and drops like 100 FPS while trying to actually aim. Especially on mouse and keyboard. Yep. Those are my settings. That is how Fortnite is supposed to look like by my standards. I'm gonna have to buy a physical V-Bucks card just to get the emote and stuff. I just wish they didn't make you buy physical V-Bucks cards, because then you lose out on the Epic points. Like Nintendo Gold points. At least... No, wait, Gold points are getting discontinued, so... The whole trick of buying V-Bucks on Switch and buying your stuff on Switch just to get cheaper stuff on the eShop is basically soon to be gone. Anyway, let's check the Nvidia app for a little bit. So if I go into graphics and I look into a game like Returnal, okay, DirectX 11 or 12 is required for that. I don't have Nier Automata installed. I don't want null. I want for exit. Force the LAA. And let's launch Returnal. We should be getting like we should be getting twice as much. Should we get like 500 FPS in game? Generated frames, that is. Frame gen still hasn't kicked in. It kicks in a little bit later. I'm assuming it's gonna be like shader compile time. Yeah, guys, watch the shader compilation screens with me live. Yeah, I beat the game, technically speaking, off stream. Do we play Act 1? Yeah, let's play Act 1. Act 1. This... the math isn't quite mathing here. Frame gen is enabled. Maybe the game toggles its settings during the shader compilation. Let's just use latest. Let's relaunch the game. Shouldn't take long because this game actually uses direct storage, it seems, and I have a direct storage setup. That logo looked weird. Ignore the FPS right now. It's just playing the cutscenes. When it's uncapped. No, it's like the... Even the Steam FPS counter, which counts as the generated frames. Like the bump in terms of the actual frame rate. I mean, it's above 120. Yeah, it's a little bit higher. It's not that much higher in this game, actually. Is it me or is DLS is looking slightly different this time around? I swear I'm tweaking. That makes no sense, but like... Or maybe the new drivers have like a new model or something? I don't know. I could be doing Tower of Sisyphus, but it's not as entertaining, I think. I'm not gonna do the... thingy. Okay, locked. But yeah, I have like... Oh, you son of a bitch. Kinda mad at myself I got hit so early on. I'm gonna have to switch categories, but yeah, they're like the... I guess injecting higher frame generation factors is broken right now. I mean, Nvidia has been having some driver issues recently, so there's that. One has a tracker swarm, alt fire, and this one proximity mine. Yeah, tracker swarm's better. Oh, well, Mari, you can check the VOD later. I was playing Fortnite. Shockingly, with all the new stuff they are doing, they still have trouble with this, like the denoiser on Lumen, right? And the FPS is lower than back in like chapter 4 days. As bizarre as that sounds. I'm gonna have to update the category. But I'm probably gonna switch over to Half-Life 2 RTX real soon. Interestingly, I tried to force this game to use 4 times frame generation and it doesn't work. The performance is ever so slightly better. And I mean, I'm still getting GPU bounce on. Running like 600 watts right now, I'm assuming, give or take. This is an overclocked 5090. This one has shock stream. Also, yeah, I can go back to Act 1 now. Not cool. Not cool. That was perfectly timed to fuck me over. Oh yeah, this game actually does ray trace shadows, in case you're wondering. I don't want that. Okay, that's actually a shit weapon. It doesn't even have the slug shot. Some Professor Stutter, but that is normal. That is a known issue with this game. This is an endgame weapon. I think you basically have to like get to the very final biome of Act 2 to be able to unlock it. What do you mean by chapter 3? Funnily enough, this is Unreal Engine 4, by the way. So it's like the old Unreal ray traced stuff. I don't know if they're using the NVIDIA branch. And not gonna lie, not my kind of weapon. I think this is a weapon that you like if you're a controller player. But this game is like a really good demo of frame generation working well. Oh no. I don't like the lack of immediacy in the damage I'm doing with this weapon. That's a calibrator. I actually want to know what's the max Act 2 proficiency in this game. Oh, it's one of those. Yeah, you can pre-fire these, I think, if you time it just right. Oh, this weapon sucks. One guy who played this game on PS5 really loves this weapon, but I think it's like a controller player thing. If you're a mouse player and you enjoy like tracking targets, 6 either for a single malignant key. That's, I mean, yeah, it's high malfunction. I mean, of course, you always go for an astronaut. Is the integrity augment here? The frame rate is a little bit higher. But for whatever reason, it seems like 4x frame generation just isn't working here. Again, this is an old game where you have to inject new DLSS stuff. Why did I ult fire this guy? Severe stuttering here. These guys haven't been here before. I guess this is one of those things that happens when you beat the game, because there's like oh hey, there's some new secrets here. And funnily enough, I don't know if you've seen this, but once you beat the game, you get this. That was, by the way, a loading screen. That was a loading corridor, loading a holding biome. Like, I don't know, like this is MDK on the Sony PlayStation, bro. I should get like one of those calibrators. Yeah, my proficiency just went all the way up to 9. This is one of those things you can do. Oh. Oh. Interesting. That's also a thing that they do once you beat the game, I guess. Okay. You got called? Hey, are you like on sick leave, Mari? At work? Oh shit. Oh shit. There's literally nowhere to grapple off of to save myself in this scenario. Yeah, this is like a damage over time kind of weapon. By the way, have you watched the MVG's video? He said that probably because Nintendo Switch 2 is gonna be doing Switch 1 emulation pretty much on the GPU side, there might not be performance gains.
Cycle waits 63 years and 8 days for me to die. Accursed fate. While Atlas bore and Prometheus endured, Selene hollowed. From here, I can see where the horizon becomes the edges of my eye. I don't want to become this person.
Okay, wait. So she knows exactly how long she lives whenever she actually fucking gets out of Atropos? That is fucked up, bro. That's actually legit fucked up. I don't like either of those weapons, but I'll take the Electropylon driver over this one. Nah, screw it. Screw it, we're playing shitty weapons this run, I guess. What a picture! These are just garden variety like turrets, bro. Also, the LOD poppin is crazy in this game. And yeah, I can feel all the stutter because the menus are capped at 60 in this game. The key. Bro, what a party pooper. Attack me right at the perfect moment as I am dashing towards you, bro. No, I'm not doing two malfunctions with a setup this shitty. Let's clear out these guys. At least there's auto fire, so I can hold down left click. Wait, 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 wait. Was that a malformed one? I didn't get a warning that I was fighting a malformed one. These guys are meant for you to just farm adrenaline, by the way. Hey guys, let's just suspend the cycle. I wanna try wait, I need to go into the library. Let's get Half-Life 2 RTX going. Funnily enough, Half-Life 2 RTX doesn't have I guess it's doing some stuff. I don't know if this game uses neural shaders in any way. I need developer settings here. DLSS mode, full resolution, please. Anti-ghost, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah. No motion blur. No chromatic aberration, please. Okay. Let's just jump right into it. Oh yeah, this is me messing around with that stuff. 4x, please. Honestly, at this level, the frame generation is less annoying. I can see slight artifacting around the gravity gun in certain scenarios, but because the frames last for such a short time, it's less annoying. The denoiser kind of struggles with this mesh though. But this level of smoothness in here, as I am like floating around. Wait. SV. Yeah, just making sure. .75 FPS while looking at such a nightmare scenario. All around. Yeah, 90 FPS. That is actually impressive. I'd be getting like 40 FPS here on a 1490, I swear. Or like 75, 80-ish native frame rate. I have to divide. But then you just do this. And suddenly you're like 360, bro. Like the 4x frame generation, W. I mean, it's a thing you have to get a feel for, but yeah, I am getting actual... There's a little bit of extra input lag. Transformer Model D gives you slightly softer image quality, it seems. I wanted to... Uh... Yeah, I'm assuming there's like some shader concurrency here. I want to see if there's any settings regarding reflex, cause yeah, at 4x I can feel a little bit more input lag than 2x, but it's fine for like single player games. It's fine. It's probably wouldn't feel it. I can feel it though. That the internal frame rate is just low enough to give me a little bit of extra input lag here, because this isn't using as far as I know, this isn't using reflex 2. Yeah, 300 FPS, 164. This is the... Oh, this weapon's a little bit broken. I guess you're not supposed to see that. Sorry, dev team. There's no end lines here, so... Yeah, the sprite-based animations kind of break with frame generation, but that was the case before. I brought this up when I was playing for this initially. Again, we're just dicking around here, seeing what kind of performance I can get, trying to break frame generation and stuff. And the game looks fucking amazing. This is where I feel like the upgrade is really showing. But yeah, the...
For it was said they had become like these peculiar demons which dwell in matter, but in whom no light may be found.
Yeah, cheats kind of like this, but also like look at the ray trace shadows on my weapon actually being cast. Like the level of precision. Though interestingly enough, like the some of the individual details don't actually cast shadows because I'm assuming they are like palmed. And I guess palm can't always cast shadows. I mean, I think this is parallax occlusion mapping. This one works properly though. Maybe it's like a per material basis. I don't know. Yeah. And again, you can kind of see the sort of frame rates this is pushing out. So this is like 240 FPS on my display. I'm assuming input lag would be slightly better if I had G-Sync enabled right now. Yeah, 5090 is a 1080p GPU. I will insist, 1080p is still a high resolution for gaming, especially with modern rendering tech. Look at the GI, how the brick wall casts stuff. This volumetric though is really broken. Like when you look up and stuff, the denoiser is working overtime. What am I looking at here? I know that they were pushing out some updates for some stuff. You can also see how some lights get cold when you're outside. Room becomes dark. It becomes light. I go out. It works. Yeah, there's like weird zones that happen. There's like bounding boxes around lights, I guess. I had to put just to keep the performance up. Yeah, but the way TAA works kind of breaks these grates. At certain angles, like the Moir patterns just never resolve, they just keep flashing. And this room looks so nice though. And because of how bright stuff is in here, the flashlight kinda... it's not as powerful. She falls off quite naturally. Yeah, it casts actual shadows. Actual ray traced shadows. Yep, for this game in particular, I think this is a worthy upgrade. Fortnite wasn't showing as much of a promise, but I'm assuming it was really CPU bound. Okay. What else can I try? Which RTX games I have installed? I have Portal with RTX. Quake 2 RTX doesn't have frame generation. But that's actually a good thing. Believe it or not. I actually have some ideas here. If I... Yeah, first let the game install. I'm gonna hit you guys. Oh wait, the ad is running. See you in a second, guys. Okay. So here's my idea why I picked out Quake 2 RTX. That game has no frame generation, right? Refresh. Yep, it picked up this thing. Let's enable smooth motion. DLSS override is unsupported. Let's relaunch the game. Yeah, I think I uninstalled. Oh, what is going on? Am I at the right resolution? Yes, I am. Okay. I need to install Quake 2. I forgot. Steam doesn't automatically pull it in. Wait, Quake 2 came out in 2023? The re-release? Bro, where's my Quake 3 re-release? Night dive, please. Night dive, please. Please, please. 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 Come on, do it to the best id game. Okay, no, Quake 1 is the best id game. Second best id game. Quake 2 is like among the shitty ones. Full game. And now it's gonna set up properly. And now I have to fix my resolution. And am I... Yeah, okay. I just have to lean over and use my monitor's OSD to test that. Video. Uh... Okay. Still doesn't pick up the resolution properly. I don't know if fluid motions are the fluid frames are gonna fluid frames thingy is gonna work. Sorry, smooth motion. Fluid motion frames is the AMD name of it. Control might work though, but control would take a little bit to download. Oh no. Let's do TAA. The dynamic resolution scaling is disabled right now. This looks so quaint, so like simplistic. I actually want to do some stuff here. Does actually want to do that? Yeah, there's a little bit of blur. I think it's actually doing something. I don't know. Oh my. No, that's just TA being really bad in this game. Okay, I thought maybe I'm seeing that. Temporal upscaling also looks like ass. Disable TA and looks slightly sharper in this game. I've been here. Interestingly enough. Yeah. Let's try. I don't know. Yeah, I'm having a nasty headache. Direct 3D 11. This is promising. Give me a second, guys. Let me go into the NVIDIA app. Graphics. Res Infinite. Smooth motion on. Let's see if I can get it to work in Res Infinite, which would actually push out 120 FPS. It's 2x frame generation, basically. Like a dumber version, because you don't have like motion vectors and stuff. It's like, I think it's basically optical flow, but you don't have optical flow silicon on. This is my favorite level. With mouse. Ooh, it feels so weird, like the... You ever saw like those videos of people showing out the artifacts of like trying to get like you know, hand-drawn animation with like, you know, motion interpolation stuff? It kind of feels like that. This is bizarre. I mean, it is 120 FPS, is noticeably smoother, but it looks so weird in person, bro. You won't be able to see it, but yeah, the frame generation stuff is working here, but it's nowhere near as good as standard frame generation stuff, which makes perfect sense. I mentioned no motion vectors here. And this is an example of a game that has a hard 60 FPS lock. Let me update the category. Okay. It's not like the crosshair is breaking down, also the way it handles mouse stuff is a bit weird, but 120 FPS res is so cursed, bro. It hurts so bad. This is weird, bro. But again, this is the kind of thing where I am arguing for frame generation being an option. That it's nice to have, because this game is hard stuck at 60 FPS. Doesn't matter if you're playing this on like a PS2 or even a Dreamcast, bro. And this is something that's only available on Maxwell. You won't be able to see this because Twitch only does 60 Hz streaming. So I think the input lag, because the game is running at 60 Hz, is a thing of all time. I hope you can use the rumble and the mouse functionality of Joy-Con 2 once they come out, because playing this game with a Joy-Con 2 in mouse mode might be actually goated, like on PC, because let's face it, they're not gonna release Res on Switch again, despite Switch being like the platform of all time for that. I didn't get an overdrive refund on the scene to hit 100% shutdown, even though it is a prime example of something where it's so awkward to aim with a mouse. Yeah, if you shoot the head a couple of times, you just have to manually retarget it. You get some stuff. Ooh, yeah, the game looks so weird at 120 FPS. Well, this is like one of those things that can only do with Black Hole right now, and I'm assuming going forward they're not gonna backport this year. I think it's dependent on the higher performance of this GPU. For playing old games that are stuck at lower frame rates, this might be nice. Also, this is extreme. This is 60 to 120. I think I saw the crosshair break down a little bit. I like jiggle it. Mostly, it actually retains its shape properly, though. Still, 120 FPS res feels so weird. Yeah, in some scenarios it breaks down. Like, the lines mostly don't break down, even though this game could be a nightmare scenario for any sort of feature of that sort. Let's play through this level. Yeah, the motion blur effect kind of ends up looking weird once it tries to like generate extra frames of it. This weird frame buffery effect that they do. That one looks absolutely weird. But this game is actually decent stress test with all the sharp lines. They'd be prone to breaking down, but they're not really. They just look, everything just looks a little bit weird. They look like weirdly smoothed out. Like, it doesn't look like native 120 FPS, and you know, still get all the input lag woes of having like 16 millisecond frame times. It's definitely an interesting way of playing the game, though. And this isn't like a graphical showcase. This game almost perfectly locks to 60 on a PlayStation 2. So it's not like a technical showcase in that case. It's just that it supports frame generation, and with the nature of its graphics, it's gonna be prone to some artifacting, and also just an extreme case because the internal frame rate is just 60 in this case. And you have no motion vectors or anything like that. This game just never was designed with that in mind. It doesn't expose that info. I mean, the fact that you can just kind of toggle it on, and I picked a game at random that has the right graphics API. Okay. Haven't played Res with a mouse in a while, so it kind of feels cursed. Ooh, I got hit. Oh no. I guess I wasn't keeping track of my combos properly. Yeah. Okay, that was the last one. Again, pick this level because it's my favorite. I'm a stage 3 enjoyer in Res. Yeah, that was suboptimal. You could get slightly more damage out of here. It's still gonna be a 2-cycle, which I don't think you can beat at 2-cycle. I think there's like some weird cap in this game. Even when you get the most cursed turbo button setup to cheese it. You should hear the cue that I am hitting max combo if I'm doing this optimally without like abusing a turbo button. And then still it's a 2-cycle boss fight. Let's see my stats. I mean, I took damage, but this might be a hando run. Hando. Yep. Perfect run of this stage. I think this is actually a good game to show off this technology. This is a port of a Dreamcast game. It just happens to use the right graphics API. I mean, if you can like use DXVK. DigiVoodoo maybe can map onto DirectX 11 or 12. Maybe that would be a way to get it running with older games. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That's gonna be an interesting benchmark. DLAA. Uh, is injecting 4x frame generation kind of broken right now? Okay, I'll get the game loaded up. This video is like frame generation artifact city. Yep, slightly higher frame rate, which is what you'd expect. Display and graphics. Apply the changes. Just quit the game. Nvidia up again. Oh wait. If you open up your rig, oh my, we have an RTX 5090. Ooh. No, this game claims to have no support for frame generation overrides. Oh yeah, I have Bell and Wonderworld installed. I mean, 4x frame generation, I would say, is a W. This game had some updates, right? Let's see what settings I get for control. It's not showing up. Oh wait, I don't have it installed. Also, I want to see, because I know that they were pushing out an update. And in the meantime, is there any stuff I don't want installed? Amityville might also be fun to play. See what kind of performance I can get out of that game. Three minutes, chat. 3 minutes. Let's run an ad as I wait. Ugh. Bro, my GPU isn't running at full tilt. It's getting cold in here. I literally have my windows open because it was getting kinda toasty when I was running Fairmark. I would say in terms of like the performance uplift, depends on what you're doing. If you can use 4x frame generation, yeah. If you're doing like ray tracing heavy stuff, yeah. Rasterization, minimal uplifts. So yeah, if you're mostly playing like heavily rasterized games, frame generation isn't applicable to what you're doing, and you're using this as a gaming GPU, don't get a 5090. If you need the VRAM, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do AI stuff today. Probably on our stream. Tomorrow we'll probably be doing Fortnite update for at least a little bit. Okay, and now if I open the NVIDIA app and graphics, let's see what happens, because I know that they pushed out an update. Oh no, I'm in HDR mode. I forgot. You might see some tone mapping weirdness, just saying. Also, this game I think has an engine cap of 240 by default. Yes. DLAA quality preset ultra. Ultra. Let's just absolutely crank the game. I mean, it's like 8. Yeah, the even this rough reflection looks really nice, but the frame rate, oh my, the frame rate is absolutely awful. Let's go Central Executive. It's like the heaviest area in the game when it comes to like ray tracing stuff from my experience. Yeah, 90 FPS, bro. Yeah, like the sample count makes this game look real fucking nice, bro. Like, look at this reflection, how fucking stable it is. It's just that this is incredibly heavy. Display. View and store. You're not selling this game on Steam. Unironically, Epic should bonk you for this one. Unironically, Epic should bonk you. Sorry, not Epic. Valve should bonk you for this one because you're basically trying to get people outside of Steam. Oh, just for shits and giggles, guys. Just for shits and giggles. Let's relaunch Control. Excuse me? It still flipped HDR on? No HDR, please. Fuck HDR. All my homies hate HDR. Yeah, the game already looks... Alan Wake 2 now available. Yeah, not on Steam, so I'm not buying it. Yeah, okay. Still loading the... I mean, the 8 samples per pixel is like... Holy shit, that's a lot. Like 4 samples per pixel would be insane by default. But yeah, like the denoiser, like the stability of like all the ray traced stuff is so good and it's like so stable. What I would do if I were to optimize those settings, oh wait, this is what I'm looking for. I would like now take it down to 6.
She expects a pat on the back. We're still in lockdown, for Christ's sake.
Still not at my level 5. Remember, this is literally the heaviest area. Can I tell the difference? Yeah, the resolve is slightly worse on this character. It's just for shits and giggles. Try 8 with smooth motion, because this game just doesn't have frame generation support. Let's go research. That's like VRR window. But also the smooth motion model looks quite nice. That's my dash key. I forgot. Haven't played this game in a really, really long time. Ow. You have so much fucking shield. Not the biggest fan of fighting these guys when they're this fucking leveled up, cause like, I literally have a maxed out character in this game. But bro, like, the 8x ray tracing looks so good. It's like so temporarily stable. There's still a little bit of blur here with the denoiser. Just in case I get attacked. But now this update where you can crank the sample count. Yeah, if you can hit them, they pretty much go down instantly. No, the fluid motion, the smooth motion model they're using for frame generation is really good. Like, yeah, 60 FPS to 120 is an extreme example, but it was actually like I barely saw any artifacts, and I would say Res is probably like a nightmare scenario game. Also, this is a physics-enabled game, if you don't know. Mari, if you're there, I'm telling you, check out this game. Yeah, you won't be playing it at these settings. You'll have to like lower the sample count and probably play it at lower settings if you... Wait, when I played this game on a 2080, I was playing it on high settings back then. 720p because of stuff. And I was like getting 90-ish FPS. 70 to 90 FPS was what I was getting. But no, like the sample count makes this game look so much better, bro. Holy shit. Like, this is what I'm telling you. Denoisers just are working overtime most of the time in the games where you see your ray traced shit. But the TAA that this game has in particular, even with DLSS on top of it, it kind of fucks up with the image quality. Like, there's a little bit of smudging here and there on some stuff. Look, it's dark. I don't see any, like, fucking issues with... Oh, this is the maze. It's gonna make me skip it. I would have to... There's like an option to replay that sequence if you really wanted to, but I'm just kind of walking around. Or maybe not. Anyway. Anything else I really want to mess with? Let's say control big W, especially with smooth motion. Like, yeah, it's only 2x frame generation, but it's like high quality frame generation. This is the old release of the game. This game is way too old to have a new enough thing. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I want the Steam release. I was like, is it there? Sonic Mania, I meant. I have Plus, but. No. I was like, what if I found like a 2D game with sprites that uses that kind of thing? Like, I wanna throw smooth motion like something really cursed, you know? Tetris Effect is not gonna do anything of value. I don't feel like making you wait for me to install Nier Automata or some shit like that. Or see how bad MSAA tanks performance in Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Oh yeah, I'm medieval. I'm gonna close down the windows, guys, because it's getting a bit cold here. We're back. Okay. Oh! There's like some weird shader stutter initially. But yeah, 240 FPS, I basically hit it consistently. Yep, that's an upgrade. This game runs better. Yep, like I am staring at the volumetrics with typically absolutely tanky performance. Yep, this is an upgrade. Does this game have a Switch release, by the way? I wonder. Anyway, guys, Fortnite update. So expect that on stream, I guess. Yeah, there's some shaders that are. Oh wait, I forgot to do one thing. Disable DLSS. Yeah, it's the max shadows that bricks it, but yeah, it looks better now. Yep, that's an upgrade. Yeah, don't give me hints. I am literally dicking around in the game. I'm not playing the game, I am messing around with the graphics settings. It's just that this level really pushes this. Ah, if it did 12 and dropped it like 90%. %. It's better. At 20. I mean, I would. Fatal error, it hasn't crashed, I just pressed Alt F4 as was closing. Bruh. But no, you cannot unfortunately really force this game to do that. Guys, my head is starting to really hurt. I still have to run my dailies in COD Mobile. I feel like dicking with AI today, maybe tomorrow. So far, I would say mixed bag. Also, Reflex 2 haven't had a chance to test that one out. I swear, Reflex 2 should be a thing when it comes to like, yeah, smooth motion is unsupported in this game. Nice. Yeah, so it actually picks up the API a game uses. That's good to know. Realm Royale will have smooth motion available to it. Hey Twitch, guys, I'm gonna be ending the stream. Is someone... Yeah, guys, let's read Dappa. thanks for checking out the stream today. I really have to go because my head is killing me right now. Bye bye, guys. Bye.